Hey everybody, welcome to the worst podcast ever. As usual, I'm your host, Alex Forden.
And I'm your co-host, Dan Clark.
And this is part of the Northern Content Network, which has a fancy new fucking website.
Yeah, we redesigned it a bit.
Yeah, so go to the northerncontentnetwork.com, and we have videos now.
5 videos. There's 5 video producer people, then I think 12 podcasters right now.
Nice. Yeah, our last guest, Chris Borch, just got his video portion up, right?
Borge and his sister. Sibling rivalry. They're
Nice.
actually super funny videos.
Is his sister hot? She as hot as Guards' sister?
I've never seen Guards' sister.
Guards, how hot's your sister?
She doesn't look like Borge, though, because he was like, oh, she just looks like me. I'm like, you can tell you're related, but it's not.
So she is hot.
She's not bad.
I have got a fake sponsor for us this week.
Okay. I'm excited for this.
I think our fake sponsor should be the Blackberry Pearl. Because I saw I saw one the other day and I was like, oh, Blackberry Pearl. Takes me back to simpler times of finger banging and slow dancing in grade 9.
My sister bought a Blackberry Pearl like 5 years ago.
And then some dude finger banged her.
No.
That's what happens.
And then she just like immediately got rid of it because she was like, I can't afford the plan for this.
She's like, I can't afford all the finger banging.
like, yeah, that's expensive.
Guys keep trying to slow dance with me. Teachers come in with rulers like, you have to stay a foot away. Catholic school.
I never had a Blackberry Pearl.
No, neither did I. Only white girls did.
Yeah, and it had the little scroll ball thing.
Yeah.
And they would like pop it out.
They had pink ones. Yeah, you could swap. People in my school popped them out, and then they'd color them with different colored Sharpies or highlighters and pop them back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
Chris,
did
did your
understand.
sister have a Blackberry Pearl?
Did you ever use the Blackberry Pearl?
No, I wouldn't let her.
No, but my first
You didn't want to get finger banged?
I could never figure out the keyboard.
I had one though.
aren't they just like the flip ones?
No, they.
Hold butt finger?
No.
Never mind that.
Nope.
I have no experience with
All right.
Blackberry Pearls.
I could never figure out the keyboard.
For the Blackberries?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
I hated them. I hated people that had Blackberries.
Yeah, I don't understand. They were weird. They were like kind of the first smartphone, though, weren't they? Because I remember like my friend's dad who had a business was like, oh, I've got a telephone that also emails. And I'm like, what? That's not a real thing. And he's like, it's called a Blackberry.
Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah.
I remember my friend's dad had one, and I was trying to sound smart. I'd be like, oh, you've got one of those blueberries. And he was like, it's a Blackberry, you idiot. And I was like, never mind.
Yeah, those are way more sour.
It's only for people who like own small businesses.
Yeah.
Well, they were good because it was super secure email.
And cops.
What does
Police
that mean?
officers.
So that like the BBM, the BlackBerry Mail or whatever, was like, it was instant email, but it was like they had really secure something for it. So like businesses loved it.
Yeah,
That's why they did
North
really
Korea
well.
couldn't get your fucking emails and release them.
That's why BlackBerry did really well up until just like a few years ago. But they're still like in business and they're just branching out to other places. So yeah, fake sponsor today,
The Blackberry Pearl.
the BlackBerry Pearl.
Also, that wonderful, lovely, manly voice that you heard is our guest for this week. Our guest this week is Will Hannigan. How are you doing, Will?
I'm very good. How are you both?
Good. You said very good. I don't believe you.
Do you prefer William or Will?
I don't care. I think William has a better ring to it, but if you're going to say my full name, you might as well just say Will
What's your middle name?
Foster.
William.
That's
That's like you're like a knight.
Sir William Foster Hannigan.
David Husserl on Tuesday said my name sounded like a bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like really cheap scotch, though.
Foster's Hannigan.
Come on.
I mean, cheap scotch is still good scotch.
Is it?
I don't know.
Any scotch is good
I don't know
scotch.
anything about
You guys
scotch.
I
have
like
beers?
scotch.
Don't you guys
Scotch,
drink-
scotch, scotch.
Do you guys drink scotch?
I have
I like scotch. I like bourbon.
about the same thing. It's kind of similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One's from New Orleans, right? Bourbon
Yeah,
is like
well,
New
Tennessee
Orleans
bourbon.
national emblem or something.
Emblem. It's
Probably.
It's New Orleans is beaver. Not like the vagina.
Pussy?
I mean like how we have the beaver in Canada.
Maybe go down on any girl in New Orleans. She opens her legs and just bottle of bourbon.
Just get hammered. That's gross. That is gross.
Yeah,
That was good dead air. That was real good dead air. I was drinking Hannigan there.
This is funny. I feel like, I don't know. I've never held a mic for nobody. Like, well, I guess there's you.
Thank you.
But we are all holding mics.
Alex is nobody, but I'm
Yeah, Dan's at least somebody. It's weird, right?
no, none of us are anything.
Daniel, don't put yourself down like that.
I'm not putting both of us down.
Just because this is the worst podcast. Oh, actually, speaking of that, I had an idea that I think would be funny. If you're listening to this on iTunes, can you just click the 0-star rating for us, please? Just go ahead and rate this
Oh my
podcast.
God, don't do that.
0 stars, and we can be officially the worst podcast ever.
Get like the most 0 stars of anybody.
That would be amazing. I would be so happy if that happened.
We're the worst, man.
Well, I can see that.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
What do you mean? Oh, to make it better, or
No, because it's the worst.
because
To live up to its name.
we're all the worst?
Yeah,
I'm good at being the worst.
yeah.
I'm actually like a middle guy.
I think I heard a funny story about you where someone asked you how much time you had, and you said, "Well, I've added it all up, and I have 27 minutes."
Yeah, I think I did. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I don't understand anything about comedy. People ask me questions and I answer them. They're like, "That was weird." I'm like,
What did you mean?
"Why'd you ask me?"
What do you mean, though?
How did you add it all up?
I just like wrote down all the jokes and I was like, "That's probably like a minute." It's probably like a minute, and then like some things I'd be like, "That's probably 2 minutes."
That's good. That's a good system. I'll do like a loose version of that where I'll count each joke as 2 minutes, just in case.
See, I don't know.
Lie extra, like
No,
what if it's
that's a good gauge for me. So if I have to do 10 minutes, I'll write down 5 jokes, and I'll always hit my 10-minute mark.
That's weird. I have some jokes that like, I don't know. I write them down. Do you guys do the thing where you just kind of write like a keyword of the joke, and that'll be like the name of it? It's like the name of the joke. I have some that are like, I know one joke is exact length is like 93 seconds, but that's just my own thing. But other than that, I'm like, oh, some of these are like 4 minutes, some of these are like 45 seconds, and some of them are just like, they vary on what's going on in the audience.
Yeah, like I have some jokes that are 5 minutes, but they'll also vary on if I like remember to.
Because if you're bombing, that 5 minutes becomes a 1 minute joke real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
How do I get to that punchline and move the fuck on?
I think it's more just like being able to gauge the amount of time you're on stage versus how long your jokes are. Like some people know exactly how long their jokes are, so they're like, "Oh, if I have to do 5 minutes, I have to do these 3 jokes," and that's 5 minutes.
I don't get that. Like, how memorized is your fucking joke though? Like, do you guys do that?
I don't rehearse. Well, I don't rehearse anything, and I'm dumb. Like on Sunday, I ran the light by like 4 minutes.
Nice.
Not on purpose.
Yeah,
That happens.
But
Okay, cool. We have another guest. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to pause this and we'll be back with some podcast magic. And look at that. We're back. And we have a new guest. This is exciting.
Yep, just showed up.
We showed up. Andrew Albert staying with me
Yeah.
today.
That's what comics do. Live like freaking college students from couch to couch and guest room to guest room.
Exactly.
No cats here?
No, 0 cats.
That's great. Hey, I'm so tired of running into cats. I think that's the worst thing that happens to you on the road.
How many cat people are you staying with?
Well, recently, are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah, you stay with fucking
Recently, I stayed with a fucking cat lady. We were in Maidstone, and they didn't even have a hotel.
Nice.
So they put us at a, well, quote-unquote bed and breakfast. I don't think it had been used recently because I found when I peeled back my sheets, I found a fucking dead housefly and a ladybug in the sheets.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like, nice.
That's
And
what I
there
left
was...
for you upstairs.
And right up by the pillow, there was just a black hair mark from where, you know, one of the cats just claimed this bed. Black bed. As soon as I lay down, it was like I could feel my sinuses just fill right up. I mean, I'm not terribly allergic to cats, but I'm not unallergic, that's for sure.
Jesus.
Yeah, and everybody always thinks it's so cute when they see kittens sleeping in the closet again on the towels. So it's so cute. And then you fucking rub your face on that towel. It's the nastiest thing you've ever done. Hate it. Happy you don't have cats.
Yeah.
You live like a boy, so with a cat, it would be like...
Yeah, that thing would be dead.
Oh, well, it would probably... Yeah, you might find
And
it somewhere.
drunk. And drunk.
No, I'm just thinking about the amount of, like, cat balls of hair would be floating around.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Because
fun.
you got a lot of boy stuff. You got a lot of
Yeah.
games and books on the floor, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's 3 dudes that live here.
Yeah.
Or we don't own a vacuum cleaner.
Three dudes, no girlfriends.
Yeah, they're all single. That's exactly it. You're lucky. My dad just gave us his old like spare mattress. His shitty girlfriend moved in, and so he gave us his old spare mattress and shit. You would have had to sleep on the squirt futon.
Oh, nice.
If that way we didn't have that. We had a futon and we just had friends bang on it for like 2 years
It was
straight.
the squirt futon. I love.
There was one squirter on it. And it's stained.
Oh yeah, I love squirters. They're the God's greatest creation.
Oh well, the futon's downstairs if you'd rather just sleep there.
Yeah, just naked, just sprawled out naked on the bare mattress, soaking it in, just fucking breathing deeply.
Will, have you had any squirters?
No, not at all. I don't think I could achieve that. Like that seems like a pivotal event in someone's life.
It's a big one. I think. How old are you, bro?
20.
20. Oh, it ain't gonna happen for another 5 years for you. Yeah, that's
You have a squirt timeline?
Yeah. Oh, there's
25 the squirt. Like
yeah.
the threshold?
That's when you'll find. That's when you'll come into your fucking own. Yeah. No, I think the first squirter I think I was probably about 18 or something like that.
Jesus, I was 22.
Yeah. And
last year.
and then I find as women get older, they get a little more into their own zone, and it'll happen. But people still a lot of people maintain it's piss, but I don't know. It doesn't taste like piss to me. Common thought right there, dude. I'd drink it.
Yeah, but it's stains. You said it's stains, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be.
It's also a piss stain.
Well, it's
though.
not a piss stain. It's almost a kind of a cloudy white. I was told that it was the same composition as like sweat. It's kind of salty water.
From what I remember from bio class, there's like sperm killing acids for some reason in vaginas.
Like
And
those spitting dinosaurs that...
yeah, and then the little movie that they showed you in class.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with humans.
Yeah.
It's 99% of sperm dies like on impact,
Yeah.
and it's just the 1% that.
Is it just shot out? It was like shot out of a cannon so fast it crushes against the wall. Just
It's just like it just all goes, and then it just there's only like 2 sperm left that can make it through.
all right.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so it all just like burns up in the atmosphere.
How is there so many shitty people still?
Because those 2, like sometimes they're just
The shittiest
worst.
people.
shittiest sperm.
Right.
Like the greasy people like never die. Like it's the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing with the sperm.
Like retards.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, no, for the real word retard. You know what I mean? Like retards. Not mentally handicapped, because that's a misuse of the word, right? I'm just talking people that are
fucking
behind
retarded.
the fucking, just behind the rest of the pack, man.
Yeah, sometimes they just slip through the cracks. Like for some reason they live forever and they just won't die. Same with sperm.
Well, I don't understand, too. I was talking to a teacher, and I guess people aren't allowed to be failed anymore? Like, that's a real thing?
Yeah, were you talking
Yeah,
to Kenny V?
No, I was. Oh, maybe I was talking to Kenny V about this.
Yeah, that was his main issue, is why he had to like retire. They implemented this new thing. They brought in a new administrator that was dealing with a new grading system, and they said like, well, we're not going to pass or fail kids. We're going to evaluate them.
Well,
What happens after getting evaluated?
Well, you have like a word that is associated with how well you're doing, and no word lets you fail. So it's just like, it's like
Needs improvement
Yeah,
is
it's
like the worst one.
well, fuck, I needed improvement my whole schooling, but I mean, I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't failing.
But I knew I needed improvement because they showed me a number on where I was.
Exactly. I mean,
On a
if you,
scale of 1 to 100, how much do
the
you need
kids-
improving?
Need to improve by 45%.
yeah, exactly.
Well, these kids, one of the things that they can do now is you can take 9 months and you can hand in any of your assignments within those 9 months. There's no, you're not late. If you hand it within the school year, you get fairly graded on it.
That was
Is this preparation for life or not even
No,
fucking
No,
close?
well, that was his issue with it, because his main argument was that, one, kids aren't going to know how well they're doing. 2, if you ever apply for scholarships or universities in the States, they need number grades. Like, you need to be able to do that to help kids get scholarships.
Yeah. You're going for a freaking scholarship, and you apply with what can do better, or doing pretty good,
Wasn't
or
that bad?
comes from a good family. You know, like.
But yeah,
Hey,
that's, so
Harvard,
that's,
I got a good.
Yeah, exactly.
How much is that worth?
Fine. Yeah.
Oh, a Canadian fine. We'll take him in.
Well,
Get in class here.
that's Yale material right there.
You can sit up front.
So yeah, there's a huge issue with this next generation of school kids because unless you want to homeschool them and try and do it yourself, then that's what they get. They get
Well, and I thought the homeschooling was just reserved for Christians.
I actually got taught by a piano teacher when I was younger who homeschooled their kids, and they were always fucking sick.
Yeah,
And sick and they had asthma and like what's that stuff when your skin like falls off and dries up?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Psoriasis.
Right?
It was like they were all
I was
suffering from
thinking
that. So
eczema.
that's what I think all homeschool kids have.
You know,
If you stay at home too long, you just
That's
start
probably just-
disintegrating.
That's probably just associated with like the weird mentality of homeschool people. Like not all of them, but where
lot
they
of them.
probably like don't feed their kids certain foods, or
Well,
or only
these-
feed them like lemons.
Yeah, well, speaking of the feeding, I think we're finding out now that stuff like asthma and like you said psoriasis that could seriously have a lot to do with your diet, whether you have a milk intolerance or a gluten intolerance, and there's a lot of things like you just continue feeding your kids shitty white bread. Well, eventually their little teeth are going to fall out. So.
Yeah. Well, we had weird kids that were homeschooled by my place too, like that I grew up in like my neighborhood, and they were always sick, like all the time. On the weekends, we're like, "Hey, you want to come play road hockey?" And they're like, "Oh, we're sick." We're like, "What about your brother?" Also sick.
Their parents were doing medical experiments on them. That's why they're home.
That's what's happening. They're fucked. They're super weird. They were also Christian, so
I don't think this conversation is very like science based.
no.
But maybe God they weren't on God's side. Maybe they thought they were a little more in than they really realized.
Yeah,
God just
well,
decided to make them sick. All
That's
the time.
that's what happens. Like if you're in your house all the time, every time you come in contact with the outside world, you're not used to that, so you get sick, and then no one wants to hang out with you, so you have to just stay in your. It's just a vicious cycle of
That makes sense to me.
homeschool.
Of
It
homeschooling,
does, yeah.
of misinformation,
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah,
of
like,
creationism
how do you
and
get-
antibiotics. And
How do you get chickenpox when you're like 6 if you never meet anyone with chickenpox because the only person you hang out with is your brother because you're weird?
the mailman, you wait for the mailman.
Yeah.
Are you touching the mailman through the
You rub yourself
lick
all over your mail.
envelopes.
Yeah.
Hey, you got
Lick-
any of those other kids' envelopes I can lick?
Yeah,
real
lick
quick?
magazines in the doctor's office.
Which you're at frequently because you're always
Yeah,
fucking
Or
exactly.
you never go to because you're faith healing people or some shit.
sick.
Yeah.
Those are great.
But
Yeah.
there's like also like geniuses that were homeschooled and then they just become amazing.
I mean,
no examples
I mean,
whatsoever.
scholastically, yeah, but like
Your mom's
their
gonna be
immune
here?
system,
I know.
That's why they found the new drug because they're like, I'm always sick. I need to figure this
and they're
out.
just horrible in social situations.
I had a brother that decided that they were homeschooling, and the wife never graduated high school, but she, for some reason, thought she had the ability to teach her children.
Oh, good.
And of course, they were always the smartest kids ever.
Yeah.
And there's so many grades above where they really even need to be right now. And I lived there for a summer, and my girlfriend was there. She came down, and so she was there during the day while I was at work. So I never saw the homeschooling that went on. But she was like, it was a fucking disaster. One kid's on roller skates, cruising around the house. The other's saying that she doesn't like math, so her mother said, don't worry, she doesn't need it.
Jesus.
And when they finally did decide, because then the kids wanted to eventually be involved in sport and stuff like that. So I remember Molly wanted to do volleyball, and they when they finally did go to a school, they were both 2 years behind where they had to be, man.
Oh yeah,
Just
Yeah,
brutal.
You know, she wasn't all there, and she was like, "I want to go to school so I can play volleyball."
Well, yeah. it's
But
just
then,
fine.
if you on the bright side, they go to school. They're like two grades down. They're like the old kids. They're cool.
Yeah,
you know?
like he.
Yeah,
if there was a boy, he
There's
totally
that.
picked up for sure.
Not if you're the dumb old kid.
no,
Yeah,
no,
but
no.
then you can just take the whole bully thing and that you're bigger than everyone. And
Well, they
just
were-
throw
It's like
things that
some
way.
weird
they were
of
pretty
mice
girls,
and
so
men.
it worked. It probably.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
There you go.
Things kind of.
Yeah, who
Well,
knows?
that's perfect if you're dumb and pretty.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when you're in grade 12,
Oh, it'll
it's
get
not
you through
where they're
life.
banging.
Yeah.
Yeah. There, oh yeah, man. I have met some girls who are like actually smart, but like are so hot, nothing went wrong ever.
Yeah.
And I remember like talking to this girl, and she like didn't know that people weren't just always nice to you. And I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, well, if you need a ride, you can just ask like a stranger." And I was like, "What? No, you can't. Like, you can, but no one else can. What the fuck
You
are you
do
talking
whatever
about?"
you want, Brittany. Courtney. Whatever.
Yeah, both my sisters are very pretty, and the older one is like, I believe in the goodness of people. I'm like,
It's all dudes trying to pick you up.
yeah, they're all like, like they're trying to like.
Some
make
guy
things
bought me
nice for
dinner
you.
and a ring today. It was weird.
Yeah,
People are so nice.
They just throw gift certificates at me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus.
that's
Life
interesting.
is
Did we
easy when you're
introduce? Did we introduce her?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I said Andrew
Yeah, I wasn't
Albert.
paying attention.
And Will Hannigan also
Yeah.
here.
Just a little recap for everybody. We're doing a twofer for today.
Yeah,
This is good.
this is exciting. It was unexpected. I like
That's
it.
cool.
Andrew was supposed to be busy, but you came in early.
Yeah, I did. Well, there was I don't know. There was just something going on where I don't want to divulge too much information because I'm not sure if who knows her and who was married to her and what the story is. But when we're not
We
recording this,
understand.
we'll find out. I'll get down to the bottom of this.
Get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, no, I was gonna come in and have dinner, but then decided that we'll just meet at the show. It'll be easier that way, and this way I'll be able to
Nice.
crash out. And
That's cool.
And you guys, do you do stand up as well?
Yes.
Nice. And are you gigging together tonight?
No, it's me and Sterling and Sonny Dollywall.
That's a shitty show, eh?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm just bringing it down for sure.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, it wasn't great to start with, and then I just fucking really.
That's a tight show. And Sonny's coming to the other show, and so is Sterling, and somebody else he told me was in town. I was like, wow, that's
Chris Gordon.
Yeah,
Chris Gordon around too?
Gordon's
Yeah,
here.
he
Yeah,
is.
he's here till tomorrow, I think.
That's gonna be a fucking hell of a show.
That's gonna be a
And
rock
the
show.
Comber's emceeing.
Is he?
I think so.
Oh my god!
Where?
Why would you not go
The
to this show?
Oh no,
drinks.
I'm MC.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
and if
thought,
LaComber's down there too, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
That's just too much show.
That's so.
no,
good.
that should just be the show.
I feel bad that
Yeah,
this
he
is
told me
coming.
though that there was 6 other people I think on.
Draw spots.
Yeah, draw spots. You should just get rid of them.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
bad that this is
just-
coming out tomorrow and not soon enough
I
for
know.
all the people
This
to go
is gonna.
see this fucking
This is
show.
probably one of the best shows you could put together in Edmonton.
Yeah, and what? It's like $5 for entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a freaking rock show. That's pretty badass.
Will, are you doing the door?
Yeah, I'm doing the door. I made it. Yeah, I have I think I got a spot.
oh, you're gonna be down there as well.
He's
Yeah.
the door guy.
Oh,
for
nice.
you.
Door guy. So I just
Sweet.
take money the whole time, and then someone covers me for
That's wicked.
Beautiful.
5 minutes.
Andrew, where are you based out of?
Home is Calgary right now.
Nice.
I got my comedy start in Montreal, but I've been out here for 4 years.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
You came from Montreal, or did you stop over in Toronto or anything like that?
I did I did Halifax for also 4 years in the middle there, 5 years. But I'd stopped back in Montreal for a year and then met a lady out here and did the jump. For some reason, Calgary was on my radar screen as far as talking to all the Canadian comics and talking about, because there is actually road gigs and money out here.
Oh yeah,
you know,
in
so
Alberta in general.
we're actually pretty lucky. You know, I mean, it's a hard economy this year.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've been talking to are really hurting. I knew it was going to be rough. So, like the little ant and the story of the ant and the grasshopper there. In summertime, I was trying to book gigs. So I've only got 2 nights off in the whole from here to New Year's.
Jeez,
nice.
that's
Good
good.
for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Still.
So yeah, I set myself up, but a lot of guys are calling me and being like, "How are you doing this year?" And holy shit, I got like 3 gigs from now to then,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, Should have been the ant.
Yeah, I got lucky, and people just want a cheap opener, so I'm like, yeah. Fuck,
Well,
let's
no,
do it.
but that's what's good when you're opener and you're solid. I mean, that's how she goes, man.
yeah,
It's it does get better though, and you
Yeah.
know it, and you're on the road anyway. So you know, like you're on the path to headlining, and once you start, the money doubles or triples. So
yeah. Well, I got a couple callback, had me co-featuring, and I've had a couple headlines since, so it's been fun.
good for you, man.
Yeah, man, it's been all right. Will, did you start in Halifax too? Was that
I started here for a couple months, and then I was in Halifax for a year.
What
Oh.
year were you in Halifax?
Last year.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I saw you at a couple of the mics around there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you remember the Oasis, the trivia?
Yes.
Underneath that. with
Last
Flex?
year
Yeah.
or like last May or whatever.
Yeah, it would have been around May.
No
yeah.
shit, you were out there for that.
Yeah. It was like there was like 4 people there.
Yep.
In the giant underground bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trudy Fong was there.
Yeah.
And there was there's a young girl in Halifax right now that's a little cutie,
Chanel.
Chanel.
Yeah,
And she was funny.
Sounds
she's
hot.
very funny.
She's deadly funny, that girl.
Yeah.
Chanel? Is she white?
Yeah.
That's a fucking
Everyone in Halifax is
white name. I know. I was like, that's weird. Chanel.
Yeah, she's a funny kid, and Halifax is a good scene, man. Why did you bail on it? Did you?
I was out there for school,
Right.
at Dal, and then it was just easier to come.
You just
back
got the
here.
1 year degree,
No, I did 2 years and then did it. I'm taking a break.
right?
We'll see what happens.
Where were you taking?
Political science.
Oh, poli sci.
Yeah. So it was just.
Are you even allowed to take a break from poli sci? It's just like
No, it
it's
is.
just like extension of high school, isn't it? Like what are you taking a break from? The stress?
Yeah,
Was
no,
it the pressure?
No, it was just like
Poli sci.
Yeah, you know, it's
poli
getting
sci was fucking killing me, man.
Having
all
an
those,
opinion.
late mornings and
Yeah,
early afternoons. Oh,
Exactly.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's a little too
three-
much.
that 3 hour class between 11 and 2.
Yeah.
Just kills.
And poli sci, or they're just like good.
They just give you a pat on the ass.
It was on a scale from left to right.
Hey, oh.
Center, you're right in the middle. Good for you, sir.
No, they just gave you high fives as you walked out the door.
Yeah.
Every time they'd ask you a question, it would just be some weird political, like, it's 2015. It's like, thanks, Trudeau. You're the prime minister. You should think of something better than that.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That's what I say when I have nothing better to say in an argument.
No, that-
2015. You just gotta learn how to talk like a dude in a sports interview. Like, it was really hard out there this year. We had a few guys go down early, and we kept our heads in it, and sometimes things just don't work out the way you wanted it to.
Yes, we
Pass.
were grinding it out. Yeah, it was awesome because actually when he fucking said that, you could tell he surprised himself. Like he went, "It's 2015." Oh,
People
and then he
like-
raised his
Yeah.
hands like, "Yes, I nailed that."
Like, they were like, Justin, we need to prepare you for all these crazy questions you're going to get going
Yeah.
into this. And he's like, I got this.
What year is it?
He looks at his watch. He's like, I can do it.
had a whole speech prepared after because he just got past that first line.
He said it, and everyone loved it. He's like, well, that's it. Drops the mic, walks away.
Thud.
I'd like to think there was an outtake where he was like, "It's November. Fuck, that's not it."
No, that's not.
God damn it.
You need to take that one.
He's like, I'm 42. And we were like, what? Oh, no, it's 2015. Oh, okay. Good for you, sir.
Does a real quick math equation, which means I was born in this year, so now it's 2015. Is what I was getting at.
I wish. Did you guys hear about they started dumping sewage into the St. Lawrence today?
Yeah,
What?
or yesterday, or whatever it was.
Midnight
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
It's brutal. I wish that he would have done something about that.
Yeah,
That
no
would've been
kidding.
nice.
Especially since Montreal is his home too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my. I spent a good chunk of my life in Montreal. That's pretty deplorable. But I guess what they're saying is happening is that they like the sewage. Something's wrong with the system, so it's all backed up, and they can't. There's no way they can fucking. There's no way they can correct it. So they're just sitting on all this raw sewage. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, I really think like at the end of the day. There is a lot of movement in that river. I know that my friends were wakeboarding in it a couple years ago, and I refused to go in. I I wanted to it wasn't wakeboard. What's the one where you're like right on the wake? Yeah, that's wakeboard when you're right behind the boat.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I can't remember, but it's
The hell was that called?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just like behind the boat boarding or
It's
something.
whatever it is, but
Like you're like hanging on to the actual like physical boat.
No,
Well-
there's no rope. You'll just like throw a little surfboard down and just they go slow and you just ride that wake that's right there. When
yeah,
you
I think
first-
you might get up on a rope and then you pull yourself to the side and then you just ride the wake.
Oh, weird.
And you,
like
and
surf
you let
behind the
go.
boat.
You let go of the rope, and then you're just surfing behind the boat.
I never even knew that was a
Anyway,
thing.
yeah, the boys were doing that in the river, and I'm like, yeah, no, I grew up here, man. I know that there's a reason. The lake that's right off the in the lake on Lakeshore. There's the lake in the West Island. They call it Pooey Louie for a fucking reason. It smells like poop. It's just Lac Saint Louis. It's just kind of a stinky little lake, but. They say, with enough, the water fucking exchanges itself so fast. It can't be good for everybody down the river, though.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's frustrating. Sorry, go ahead.
I heard they said it's not going to affect the fish migration. They were like, that's why they were going to do it now, because it shouldn't screw with the fish too much.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah,
If you
still
believe
raw
them.
sewage. You
It's-
think of all the mollusks
If you believe him,
Yeah.
it's
all
fun.
the way up the river, all the way to
it's not going to have no
Newfoundland.
impact.
No, it can't.
Which
it's
is-
got to have some sort of impact. But I mean, back in Halifax, we were speaking of they had this new state of the art system that came out, and I think it was up and running for 6 months. The freaking stupid mayor was hilarious. This guy Peter Kelly was out swimming in the freaking ocean right off Point Pleasant Park there, 2 days after they. They stopped dumping raw fucking sewage. You know what I mean? And then it was like,
fun. Look,
yeah, it's cool.
drink
We
some
can
of
do
it.
this. We can do this. He was so gung ho about getting out there and making a big spectacle of it. And then the day after, it said, "Do not. The bacteria count's too high." So what ended up happening is I think that thing was up and running, and it flooded. And apparently they didn't put the breaker panels high enough in the walls,
Oh
so
my
it flooded
gosh.
with its own shit, and then everything shut down, and it caused so much damage that they don't have to turn it back on.
Jesus.
So there's an empty infrastructure that's going to cost $40 million or $70 million to fix that they haven't fixed yet, and that was 3-4 years ago.
It sucks because if you Canada, I think if you ask anyone, it's what's the greatest natural resource? People are like the clean water we have.
Yep.
Had.
But if you go to most lakes and rivers now, you can't really be in them.
Well, what was the? Because
Lake Ontario, I'm from Ontario, you can't really swim
Yeah.
in a lot of places in Lake Ontario, and it's brutal. It's
Well, that
this
was-
is one of the biggest freshwater lakes that we have.
one of my big things, obviously, I think every comedian and most human beings were anti-Harper, and
Yeah.
one of the big things for me with that was it was hundreds of protected freshwater lakes.
It was 3.5
And
million or something.
Before the beginning of his term, it was at least in the thousands, maybe even the millions, and now it's maybe a couple hundred.
Oh, really?
And so he lost protection of 90% of our freshwater lakes.
Right.
He was just fucking dumping it.
Which
Who
will be
gives a
the
shit?
final war too. You know what I mean? It's
Water?
going to be the water war. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That'll be the
Yeah.
last straw. And Alberta is the lakes out here are just disgusting. Very disappointing to be a boy from New Brunswick and we do have a lot of nice lakes around the country, but Alberta itself is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
A lot of runoff from the farms.
I
big
can't.
nutrients.
I can't. People ask me because I've only been here 5 years, and people are like, "Let's go to the lake," and I've been to a few lakes.
You're
and I'm
really?
like,
It goes up to your waist, and you're
why do you go to this lake?
yeah, it's
Yeah, Alberta Beach is gross.
you're 2 kilometers out into the lake, and it's still just waist deep, and it's too shallow. So many of them are just shallow little man-made.
They're like sloughs or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta drive out on a boat to the middle of Pigeon Lake just to swim around.
Oh, Pigeon is gross, man. I
Yeah.
saw it for the first time this last summer.
Yeah.
It was so bloomed out with algae. It was just disgusting.
Yeah.
It was
Cold-
just disgusting.
Cold Lake is nice.
Oh, is it?
Cold
Cold
Lake
as
is
fuck.
probably
As you're getting north,
yeah.
yeah.
Adequately named.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went in there and my girlfriend's from there, and she's like, "Oh, it's actually pretty nice." I was like, "This is freezing, July."
Slave
Yeah.
Lake? Slave Lakes. That's not too bad.
I don't know,
No.
but it's
Well,
just,
If I remember, it's a very large lake. So I imagine once you get north, it's going to get
Well, I was
better.
gonna say that's a good thing. Global warming. We're just gonna get more fresh water as those fucking ice caps keep going back.
Yeah.
so if you're out there listening, just be
Drive
nice.
your truck.
Yeah.
Just
Be
keep
nice.
driving your truck.
Well, that too, maybe, I guess. Be nice to the fresh water or do something about it. I don't know. It's like, what do you do, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you...
I went out in a boat, and everyone else was wakeboarding, and I just took a shit in the water, and that was it.
Yeah,
I didn't
Nice.
go
it's
Thank
nice of
you.
you.
Yeah.
in. You just dunk.
Well,
your
he
ass.
wasn't surfing, so it didn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You just dunk your ass in and like shit, and the boat drives a little bit, and then
It cleans. It's like a bidet.
yeah, like you're shitting into a giant lake. Actually, that's what it is.
Wicked.
It's kind of like exactly
Shitting
what it
in a
was.
lake. That's it. That's all it is.
You guys want to chat comedy for just a quick second?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would just because I know of you a little bit, but I don't know a lot about you.
Mhm.
So we just want to kind of do probably the typical, how would you get into it? You know,
Yeah.
what made you want to do it? All that kind
Montreal.
of stuff.
Was it JFL? Did you like grow up? Did you ever go to the JFL stuff?
Yeah. And I got JFL. I was fucking like 8 months in. I did
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Just for laughs.
I was a
for anyone who
bebe.
doesn't
I was
know.
a bebe. It didn't make any sense.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I know. It was like rocket ship, and then it's been downhill ever since then. Yeah, I'm probably 17, 18 years in now.
Can you do French comedy?
No, I wish. I do speak French, but I don't have that much command of the language. You know
Right.
what I mean? I really feel like you'd have to be able to really know a language
Well,
to
I'm
be
the same
funny
way.
in it.
I'm bilingual, but I'm like business bilingual, where I can say like, "How are you? What's new?" Like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can speak it, but I can't make like fucking metaphors in the.
Oh no,
like-
exactly, and that's the French love words and
Yeah.
and punny shit, and you have to really know a language to know all the synonyms of what every word means and stuff. But I got my start back in Windsor. I went to university in Windsor, Ontario, and my buddy was the doorman. So much like yourself, just taking money. My buddy Dave Johnson was my roommate, and we would go to Yucks probably a couple times, 3 times a month.
Wow.
You know, like just once. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like we'll go check a show out, and it's cheap. You're in university. What do you do? It's cheap entertainment because we get in for free, smoke a joint, and we're watching a show. You know
That's
what
a
I
good
mean?
night.
So it's a good cheap night, and I started to see the patterns, and I wanted to do comedy my whole life. But then it just got offered to me because I always hammed it up a bit and stuff, and in class and shit like that. And then one night with Dave, I was telling a story, and he's like, "You got to do that on stage." And it was like a contest thing, and I placed second out of like
that
15 people.
At
Wow.
Yucks.
Yeah.
Huh?
At Yucks, whatever.
not
So my
bad.
first time on stage was very successful. You know what I mean? So it didn't put a bad taste in my mouth.
The hooks went in right away.
It was right away. And like, yeah, I was maybe 6 shows in, and then I got asked if I could come in and fill in, like the middle wasn't able to come.
Right.
So it was like, could you do just at least 10 minutes to have and I said, okay, I'll do that. And then I went back to Montreal, and there was a guy, Terry, he had a sketch group called this Free Fall Iguanas. This guy, Terry Simpson, and he was doing like a comedy class. And so I took that, and it was through the comedy Nest, which was the one that Ernie Butler was famous. Ernie Butler, everybody knows Ernie Butler.
David Acker's running that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Acker and Phil Shushat run that now. And Ernie's passed away. But it was it was a great little community, great scene. But man,
Were you out there with Bronson?
no, he would have gone before my time. Yeah, he would have already left before my time. But I know Ricky Bronson. I did a Just for Laughs festival show with him, a Montreal show,
Nice.
where we were on the same bill. Actually, he did
a
it.
good
It's funny
bill.
you mentioned David Acker. They did a card trick on either side of the stage.
Yeah, I've heard of that before,
Yeah.
dude. That's
Pretty-
like famous.
Pretty badass. Yeah, they did a card trick, and then it was one of those like, all right, ready to reveal? Is this your card? You know, and then they revealed it, and both people are like, no, but the cards were this way.
They had the other person.
They already knew, obviously, they already know what card you're going to show the
They do
person,
like a
right?
force or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good
wicked.
trick.
Have you? So you're 18 years in?
I think so, yeah. I think that would make sense. 18 years in.
That's
17,
cool. Do
18
you have a
years in.
favorite place to play, or like?
You know, I do Yucks. That Toronto downtown Yucks is pretty badass. Like as far as like really awesome and fun.
Is that the first one?
Well, yeah, but it's not the same location. It's not the same location it would have started at. So the downtown Yucks in Toronto is pretty damn good. The club in right here in not here in Edmonton, but in my hometown Calgary is pretty awesome.
The Laugh Shop or the Cave?
The Yucks itself,
the
yeah. The Laugh Shop is pretty awesome too. But I mean, yeah, as far as maybe Newfoundland. Just as far as fun times, just nonsensical freaking people and a great club. It's like a Vegas style room.
Nice.
It's a really nice spot.
That's fantastic. Have you been able to travel a lot with comedy, or?
Oh yeah, this is my thing. I also do. I also am a sommelier, so I'm a wine nerd.
Oh, nice.
And so that's. I have a little bit of a day job. I have a little somewhere in between a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday job, which is great. You know, I found out recently that we actually have cable at work.
Nice.
And on Sunday, I get to watch 2 football games. That's
Fuck
great.
yeah. That's really good. Dude, that was one of the best gigs I ever had. I worked, it was literally for less than a year, worked a football season at a bar on Sundays. We had the NFL Sunday ticket. So I had 4 different games on, one with the sound. So I got to pick. So I watched Panthers games because that's my team.
Yeah.
So I'm like 4 games.
Everybody else in the bar is like, why the fuck are we watching the Panthers?
And then, like, we played Green Bay. People are like, oh, wicked, you had the Green Bay game on. I'm like, no, the Panthers game, you dick.
Everybody likes the Panthers.
And it was just like a local, like sort of in the middle of a residential area pub. So it's just like me and 10 old dudes who are shit faced at noon. Like, just I'm serving them beer, and then I have a smoking hot waitress like serving the 8 tables that are there. So I'm like, gonna flirt with this hot girl, serve these old dudes who have like ridiculous stories, and watch 4 football games and get paid for it. It was unreal.
Do you still ever work in the service industry?
Yeah, I'm a waiter. Like, that's my day job. But which hasn't been fucking very relevant lately, which is nice. I've been doing way more stand up than working at the restaurant. So
I closed that chapter in my life in 2002. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking done. I got fired by a cokehead. I was like, it was one of those conversations where you're like beside yourself, like, is this happening? I'm getting you're firing me. Okay, Cokey McCokerson.
Who's got the best Canadian wine?
Ooh, are we talking? You're talking
just anything across the board that you like.
There's a few. Like I really think in the East, there's a guy out there. I think he's a fucking rock star by the name of Norman Hardy. So Norman Hardy does Pinots and Chardonnays out in Ontario, and they are banging awesome.
Okay.
There's some great deals. There's also some great deals in Ontario. There's some of the bigger wineries that you hear from, like Chateau de Charme. Now out, like they're it's like kind of large production, but still you can find really good wines for $20. I just went to a place called Flat Rock that blew my mind, where the Chard, the Riesling, $16-17, and the Pinot Noir sitting at $20. Unfreaking real. In Okanagan. There's a lot of good shit out there. When you get down to a Soyuz, it's all about the big monster Bordeaux blends.
Well, we did the Okanagan Comedy Festival is where I met you the first time we were on those houseboats.
Yep.
And I remember driving through there. We were going from Sicamous to wherever the fuck we were, Penticton or
Down to
whatever.
Penticton, yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah, there's wineries like wherever the fuck.
Oh, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
But one little, if you're ever out there in that Penticton area again, there's a winery out there called 8th Generation, and I went through their list, and I really think that there was maybe one wine or 2 wines that didn't blow my mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking out of 10 wines. You know what I mean? Like they were good. They weren't phenomenal.
Have you ever had Kevin O'Leary's wine?
No.
From Dragon's Den?
No.
Okay.
No,
I want to
haven't
know
had
if
this.
that's good or not.
Yeah, no clue. Do you even know what it's called?
No, it's just it's like O'Leary Estates. Like
really?
He named it after himself, and I'm like,
Okay.
that doesn't sound like a
Hope
good.
it sucks, eh?
Yeah, probably.
My mom was on Dragon's Den.
Was she?
No way.
For what?
My mom like
Did they? Were they like, "Fuck, you're an idiot, get out of here," or did they?
Yeah, you're too old to still be stripping. She's like, I just need money for plastic surgery.
Did she get on TV?
No, she got invited out. She brought my sisters as models, and she did a women's like.
That's
it
what
was,
people
like,
really are
Under
trying to
Armour
fuck
for
your
women.
sister.
Oh, you said your sisters were hot.
Yeah, we didn't believe
Do
you.
we have this episode online?
They're like 9 and 13.
Oh, okay.
So maybe model.
Answer the fucking question. Do we have this online? Okay.
Yeah, fine.
I think at that age you call them bait. Not
Yeah. That's
Bait.
that's
Bait.
bait.
I'd like to see all of you in jail.
I'd like to see your sister in jail.
But apparently the guy, like, she went and did an audition here, and they flew her out to Toronto, like, paid for all this stuff, brought her in, and they were supposed to have 5 minutes to do a pitch, and this is before Under Armour started doing female, like, undergear.
Booty shorts.
Yeah, and so my mom had, she had a good idea, she said within 30 seconds they were all like, "Gah!" and like yelling stuff at her, and then they were like, yeah, well, this isn't going to work for us, and just got her off. And so she talked to one of the people, and I guess they kind of look for like things that are like, you know, to piss people off, or like more of it is to be
You have to,
shitty.
yeah,
But it's
hammer
also my mom telling the story, so she could have like probably just called them assholes and then they kicked her out. Like I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Mom sounds like a fun lady. Where are they from? Are they from out east, or did you just go there because you were like?
Well, like it's really far from here, so that's what I did for school.
You were like, I want to get as far away from here as possible.
Yeah, it was one of the only schools that it
You got
accepted
accepted?
me.
Where was it?
Dalhousie.
Oh, Dal. Yeah.
You got into Dalhousie?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's impressive.
It's in the 12th grade.
Nice.
And they
Well,
still
you
let me
got a needs
Well,
improvement
he got
in
a.
the
They
12th
actually they didn't put an F. They just put a. It wasn't a happy face, but it wasn't a frowny face.
They
It was
did like
just
a- it was a
just a
hand.
flat-lipped little
There was-
face.
there
And one corner was
Yeah.
down like a little bit, but
Yeah.
that could have just been.
But
a
the other corner was
mishap.
up, and there was a kissy face.
Little sideways thumb. It was like shaking.
Shaking a little bit.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
And then I sent him a check and they let me in. So
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
That'll do it.
that's
Yeah,
how that
Clark
works.
Robertson was on Dragon's Den years ago.
Oh yeah, with what?
Well, he was to be, I don't know, to get more heat to be Don Cherry,
Jesus.
which is the weirdest thing ever.
Well, some people just go on because if you do a good enough pitch and don't get a deal, it's amazing publicity.
Yo,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that happened with a lot, like that Saks underwear company.
Yeah.
They wanted like too much, or the Dragons wanted too much, so they were like, "Fuck you!" And now Saks is huge.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
the
like you said.
Dragons Den people are like, "Oh, we fucked up there."
Yeah. Oh, well.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's good underwear.
So we
Fucking
kind of have
buy.
like both ends of the spectrum for comedy. Well, we have, I don't know.
We
have,
got
like,
all over the
Yeah,
place.
we got like some advancing middles kind. I don't know if I would call
Yeah.
myself that, but you're definitely one of those, Alex.
going up there.
Yeah, how
And we
many
have-
years are you in, Alex?
4
Okay.
4
yeah,
years
that's-
this month.
Oh, good for you. And you're getting rogue. I mean, see, you guys are lucky out here, man.
Yeah.
You get to do a lot more than I did. Like, I didn't headline till, I would say 9-10 years in.
Yeah,
But
Well,
that's kind of typical.
Well,
crazy when you hear dudes that are like, "Oh yeah, I headlined after like a year and a half."
Yo, that doesn't make sense.
And you're like, what?
They
That's
certainly
like-
weren't ready.
Kelly Taylor, maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
well,
that guy.
Dambra.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Kelly Taylor.
Dambra was the same way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, where
well,
was Dambra? In New York?
Yeah, and he was like touring with, I think it was Yucks as well. And he just got his was actually similar to your story. We have an episode with him that he talks about it. But basically, yeah, he won a contest, and then after he won the contest, they were like, "We need you for this." And then he did well as an opening act, so they sent him on the road. And then when he got back, they were like, "Yeah, all great reviews. Here's your first headline."
Wow.
And he was just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Kevin Iso. He's from LA, or he's from New York originally, I think he said, but he's
Houston.
living out.
He's from
he's
Houston.
from
He
Houston.
moved to New York.
Moving to New York and then down to LA, right? Or he's in New York
Still
now.
in New York.
And we were just shooting the shit after the show. Like we went to Dreams and smoked some hookah. And I was like, "Yeah, man, how long you been doing this?" He was like, "It was 5 years in like June." I'm like, "You're headlining the comic strip?" Like he's
That's huge.
an international headliner living in New York after 5 years. And I was like, "Fuck you."
Well,
And he was 24 years old.
oh, that's crazy, man. Good for him.
Jesus
Hilarious
Christ.
though. I watched him at the
Yeah,
strip, and
man,
it
he's
just-
so funny.
His Taylor Swift joke is so funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, in the car and yeah.
Yeah, look up Kevin Iso if you get a chance. But
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Will.
when stuff like that happens, it's crazy. I'm like, how the fuck are you?
Yeah,
headlining
because
right?
I can't see you having the ability to hold the crowd for 50 minutes at that point, you know?
Yeah.
As I know, when I grew up in Montreal, it was like there was so many other comics, and sure, I'm getting work, but it's never paid, or I'm getting $25 or $50 if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
once in a
paying
blue
gas,
moon. Yeah, it's
like-
not even. It's not paying shit.
Yeah.
And and that was for years. But I mean, every club wants to keep you down. Like, it's in their best interest to
Yeah.
keep you in check, so that, you know, Yuck Yucks being a good example of, you know, kind of not to talk bad about, you know, the fucking hand that feeds me a little bit. But it's in their best interest to keep you on the on the low rung of the totem pole, because then they don't have to pay you.
yeah,
They don't, and club work is shit money. It always is.
unless you're the headliner.
Well, unless you're the headliner, or but even when you're the headliner, man, what you get if you're at the top, you're making $1,200 a weekend.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, the strip pays a little bit better than that.
Maybe, yeah.
They do. Yeah.
You know, I think Yucks maxes out at $300.
Wow, what?
Yeah, maxes. But
Yeah, see, that's not
Jesus.
typical of the strip.
no, but if you have, you know, some big TV credit, like you're a Jerry D, then you negotiate a door deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the other story. You know what I mean? And you take, if it's a $30 ticket, you're taking half of it.
yeah. Well, Stanhope got, I think, the agreement that he came to with the comic strip was he just got 100% of the door. Like, he was like, the door's mine, bar's yours.
Right.
And he's like, my fucking audience will drink their goddamn faces off because it's Stanhope.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And then we have the other end of the spectrum, Will.
Yes.
How long have you been doing comedy?
A year and 6 months or something like that.
And how much time do you have?
27 minutes.
He's added it all up, and it's
27.
27
Yeah.
Did
minutes.
you add it all up?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'm still. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, you had a pretty decent open mic running. That's impressive. I didn't get. Have you ever ran an open mic, Dan?
Nope.
No? I think I got my first one in like 3.5 years, and it was a fucking struggle. So.
What do you mean? You were running an open mic?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're running an open mic now?
yeah, downtown.
Good on you, man.
You're in. Like, that's business savvy right there.
It's
well,
a good-
that's
it's
yeah,
a
that's
really good
great
room,
because
too.
it also helps you become such a better host. Like, I really feel people only really become good hosts about 4 or 5 years in anyway.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it week after week, and it can only help you.
And the room is kicking butt.
It's really fun. A lot of my friends have been coming out.
Yeah, if you want to plug it, we can see if we can get some people there in the next
Oh,
couple
cool!
weeks.
It's at the
Is it tonight?
No, it's on Tuesdays.
Oh, nice.
It's at the Dockside Pub, 10425 100th Ave.
Which is not in, but it's like kind of in the Holiday Inn, is it?
Comfort Inn.
Comfort Inn. It's just
Yeah.
like right, same building, right beside.
Because I
And
drove around that block for like 10 minutes. Like, where the
Yeah.
fuck is this bar?
It's an actual hole in the wall.
Yeah.
It's a hole in the wall, and the regulars hate us. They hate us. And they hate Rizwan. Rizwan started talking about how great like Hitler was the other week. He's a guy who co-hosts with me.
Yeah, I
sometimes.
met Rizwan. Seems to me, funny kid. He came down
yeah.
to really funny. He came down and opened.
Rick.
Oh no, I was in. No, I was here. I was at one of Connie's gigs
Ooh,
maybe a couple
nice.
months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
At the
He's-
Cowboy Bar there.
Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. He got the venue, and because I had asked him that I wanted to start something with him because I don't think I could run it all by myself.
Yeah.
And it's been he's been in school a lot, but so funny, and yeah, he just goes off on these tangents sometimes that are like he's talking about how great Hitler was, and man,
Tangent.
the regulars have been like grabbing me and like telling me how bad it is, but so it's a nice humbling experience being
was
like
good.
your friends being like that was good, and then just walking to get paid at the back of the bar, and all the regulars are like fuck you.
Dude, I had that at the open mic I ran. There was one dude at one point that stood up and went, "I'm a fucking Christian, and this is unacceptable. You want to go outside?"
That
Like-
doesn't sound very Christian.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, first of all, not Christian. Second of all, I'm in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to do right now.
I am going to kick your ass for Jesus' sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what in the fuck?
We had a guy this Tuesday who he sat in and started heckling, and I told him to be quiet, and he was like, sorry, I work on the rigs. And so I gave him like a comedy safety meeting where I told him, and then so I kind of got him, and then he answered that by saying, I just got out of prison. And he looked like he just got out of prison.
Right.
And he was really it was really fun because we just made, like, everyone, after he said that, we were all just like, congratulations, there's witnesses here, you're back in public. And it was so cool seeing everyone laughing and him being like super upset. Like, he walked across the stage while Chris Gordon was on, closing, and Chris, like, it was a weird standstill because the guy walked up and he had a smoke in his mouth and just stopped and stared at Chris.
Oh, God.
And Chris, like, they stare at each other for a second. There's like a little like booth where the karaoke sound guy does his thing after the show, and Chris just like hid behind that and was like, I'm gonna do the rest of my set right here. And then the guy walked out, and
Did he come back ever?
yeah, he kept going out for smokes, and like we would run on and like make fun of him, and then we'd be like, oh shit, he's coming back, and we'd run back off, and then Chris Gordon just ripped him, and it was just weird seeing him like after the show and feeling like we were gonna get stabbed and stuff. But that's funny. I think it's funny for me.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That is the problem with open mic nights popping up everywhere. You know, like, you can't really control the audience as well, and people are really, sometimes when it gets sprung on people, they didn't want it. They didn't ask for it.
They just wanted wings. They came there for
They
wing
came out
night.
for, it could have been two guys that hadn't seen each other in 7 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's head down to the pub. And then you're with your old buddy and you're about to fucking start yakking. And then, like, all right, if everybody could be quiet, we're about to do a comedy show. And they're like, fuck off. I didn't sign up for this, right?
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
I don't know. I do feel for people. Like, I've become sympathetic for audience members that have shows sprung on them because they didn't necessarily want it, you know.
Yeah.
But
That's what I always think when I'm watching a show and like comics are having fun. I'm like, this must be terrible for an audience member who wasn't meant to be an audience, like they didn't want to be.
Right.
I always feel bad for that person, but
yeah,
That's the way she goes sometimes.
that is the way she goes. Yeah. That's why it's always best to charge, because then it gives the people the option. Well, if you're not paying the $5, then get the fuck out of here, right? Or go sit on the other end of the bar where they're not part of the show.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's so hard to run like the perfect open mic.
It's
you know
tough.
what I mean?
Yeah,
It takes
it's very
years
tough.
and years and years.
It takes years to build. Like with
You must do comedy Monday night a decent
like at
amount.
Monday. Yeah, I hosted it this week. That's a show that has, it shows that it's been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, James runs a very tight ship. He has a great formula. He does put on 2 newbies every freaking week.
Well, I also noticed I saw Tom Segura at the Lap Shop, and the difference between how we open a show here versus how the MC opened the show there. I don't know if it was just that MC, but he was very adamant when he started off the night that, like, do not talk, do not talk, do not talk. If you talk, like, fuck you, we will kick you out. Whereas here,
And where was that?
that was Laugh Shop at the
Oh,
Blackfoot
okay.
Inn.
Yep.
And I was like, it's a little bit abrasive off the top to start it like that, but nobody talked at all. No one
Right.
did anything. Whereas here, we're kind of like, hey, please be polite, please be mindful of the comics, where it's like,
Right.
maybe we should just start telling people, like, especially if you're at a club, like, hey, you're at a fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, so it was very interesting to see that. And I don't know if that's indicative of, like, the whole scene down there, but it...
heard a really interesting thing recently. It was a podcast with Todd Glass, and he does a thing where he goes over the God mic before his own shows, and he's just like, hey, look, don't be on your cell phones and blah, and like does this whole like spiel, and it's weird, but he says that it works because it's the God mic. People think it's like an announcement.
Right.
So instead of the host going up and being abrasive, it's just like people think it's a pre-recording where it's like, please enjoy the show and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Lethbridge last week, and there was a freaking lady on her phone the entire time. I just can't imagine. Like, why did you bother coming out, man?
Yeah.
Like, just the entire fucking time. And I'm looking at the whole table, and they're all smiling at me. Everybody seems to be having a good time in the room. And there's that one bitch with her face lit up blue. And I'm like, sweetie, you know, like, I talked to her about it. And then the husband's kind of, like, tapping her, and her friend's, like, trying to pull the phone away from her, and she's pulling the phone back. You know what I mean? They're like, come on, Catherine, like, relax on the phone, man. And then, yeah, for the entire rest of the show, I watched her face just re-illuminated blue. And I don't think there's anything that irks me much more.
Yeah,
Because it messes with your head.
It's like people talking at the theater, like at a movie theater.
Yeah.
People that talk or whisper, like, it infuriates me.
And it takes you out. Like, when I look at my cell phone, that's all I can think about. Like, if someone's watching a show and they look up and they'll only pay attention for a few seconds, and they'll be like, oh, this isn't, and then they'll go back.
Well, because they miss the premise. They miss
and they're like,
everything.
this meme
This
is
guy's not
way
even-
funnier than this guy is. And you're
Well,
like,
yeah.
because you missed the first 45 seconds.
You're not paying
of this.
attention.
Yeah. Dude, the craziest thing I ever saw in that regard, I was at a Tim McGraw concert, which are not cheap tickets at this point. I mean, he's been a superstar forever and is in Alberta, so it's not fucking cheap.
Right.
And so they were like over $100 tickets, and there's a dude in the row ahead of me watching boat racing on his cell phone. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, that is a guy that belongs at a Tim McGraw concert right there. I would have said it was NASCAR, but boat racing makes complete sense.
It was so weird, though. I was like, really? You're that... Are you busy right now? Like, you can't give your attention to this concert
That's
you're paying
hilarious.
a decent amount of money for?
Boat races have like a guy, like there's a driver, and then there's another guy, and the drive or the director just does this with his hand.
People can't see what you're doing right now on the
okay.
podcast.
I guess.
Well, they just motion, right?
He was doing fish motions. Fish tail flip motions.
We're in water.
Yeah.
I'm
a fish.
I'm a
Just keep swimming.
Sign language. Like,
fastest fish in the world. No, they point
poisson.
right and left,
Petit
and that's how they
poisson.
mostly how the guy goes off of is like whether the guy.
Well, it's like crazy. Have you ever listened to like the inside of the rally cars when
Yeah.
they're doing that? And
Well,
it's
dude-
they don't even look up. They just talk as fast as they can, and the driver has to understand what's coming up
they
next.
have this
because
crazy. They say like the speeds to go through corners. They're like sharp right 45, and you're like, how do you know how fast this guy needs to go through his corner? Like, it seems like some weird knowledge to have.
Seems like you should be driving the car.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think you should take over here, man. You seem to have all the goddamn
You
answers.
just knew. Like, what do you have a problem looking at the speedometer? Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad. Like it'd be like, what do you do for a job? It'd be like, oh, I'm a rally car passenger.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, what do you do? Oh, I read. Do you have a license? No. I just like to read the instructions.
Well, the thing is, my best friend's blind, so I just tell him where to go.
He likes to hold the champagne at the end. I just sit in the back and relish in all the.
I'm not
Just tell him
glad.
how to get there.
That's awesome. I feel like my mom would have been fucking great at that. Turn left here.
Oh God.
The next left. My mom left my brother at a truck stop once. That was the funniest day of my life.
Oh, that's awesome. I got a brother that got left behind too one time.
My mom did it on purpose though.
Oh, really?
She kicked him out, and then we were driving. We were on like a family trip, and it was like me, my mom, and my
Bunch of truckers, eh?
me, my mom, and my brother. My mom's friend and her two kids, and so we're in this van, and there's all 7 of us. Like all the seats were full, and we were fucking packed into this thing. And then my brother was just being a fucking dick because that's what he does. And my mom kicked him out at a truck stop. I was like, "Sorry, we're going to Vancouver. You're staying here." Just started driving away. And like 10 minutes later, a friend was like, "We are gonna go back for him, right?" And my mom was like, "I guess," and like turned around. It was the
That's
greatest
awesome.
day of my life.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm totally the favorite."
Meanwhile,
for
he's
sure.
He's already sucking cock for a ride.
Yeah. You teach him young, you know? You teach him young.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get you there.
That's why I have so much road work.
Yeah.
It runs in the family. You're in for a treat on the fucking drive tomorrow. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
All right, I think, holy fuck, we're at just over an hour here, so probably time to wrap up. I think we're going to get going to some shows right away. But, yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. You got anything you want to plug? Dockside? And
Dockside, 10425 100th Ave, 8
Sweet.
p.m. on Tuesdays.
any Twitters or
Edmonton.
anything like that?
It's, W Foster H.
Cool.
I decided to, like, my middle name was the important one.
Nice. That's good. People will recognize that. Andrew, anything you want to?
Yeah, nothing special. My club work is all done, so all my shows are not pluggable anyway. I don't give a shit. I get paid either way. It doesn't matter if more people show up. I'm in every small town between now and New Year's.
Nice. Where are we going tomorrow? We're in fucking some.
Tomorrow we're going to Peace River, bro.
Oh yeah, that's
a
going.
good 5 hours away.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. Do you have Twitter or anything?
I don't know, and I really should. I'm just lazy.
Cool.
Doesn't really do much.
No.
No. Dan. anything?
I don't know. You can always find me at the Dan channel for pretty much any social media. Check out northerncontentnetwork.com. We're always trying to add people to that. So if you or someone you know has a podcast or video that they would like added to that, contact us on the page or at Northern Content at Twitter, that kind of shit.
northerncontent@gmail.com as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Also by video, he means YouTube channel. If you have a YouTube channel you want to plug. Yeah. It's the Forden on everything, and not much else. As always, fuck Desjardins Insurance. And, thanks for coming on, guys.